Hi, thank you guys so much for coming out. As Max said, I'm Lena. I'm the president of Ujima, and we're a collective of POC artists on campus. We have dancers, singers, visual artists, poets, and I'm missing one. Well, maybe that's it. And I brought with me 3 poets, one of whom is not actually yet an Ujima poet, but is a woman of color who we love to have, whose poetry I love personally. And we're so excited to share with you tonight. Our first artist will be Sara, who is a senior, an exceptional poet, also a vocalist in Ujima, and they write their own original music. So give them a great big warm welcome.
Hello. How's everyone doing tonight? This first one is called Inhale Me Inside You. It's about placentas. They never told me I'd give birth twice in a row. Once to a creature that made me weep, and then to a bloody black-gray organ they convinced me to eat. I know. And I never went, like some blonde Hollywood so-and-so who never gained weight under her chin, and whose water broke glamorously and glittered for hours in the living room. Mine was more like, the moan a little sexual, and that's okay. My eyes still sparkled as she wiggled on my naked chest, wet hairy shoulders and puffy eyes, wet suction cup mouth on my nipple, umbilical cords are a charming intestine. A tangled tether connecting my too quick heartbeat to hers. They warned me not to clamp and cut right away. That's the way the doctors with the fancy degrees do it. But I just wanted bitch witch magic in my peony blankets. My body pushed it out on blood-stained white bed sheets. I looked at shit that fell out of my asshole displayed for me on a pale green towel on a front-facing hand. He blended it up with fresh chunks of pink strawberry into a smoothie. It was tasty, and I was running low on iron and scared of depression. Some days we giggle silly because one time he ate a sliver or maybe a morsel, and so did my sister. They gobbled me up and swallowed me down the throat, melting into their bubbling, biling stomachs. Yummy, 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 slurp me up. And I imagine that a part of me makes up a cell in his butt and one at the end of her fingertip, and that cell fell off their bodies in an itch or a tender touch and has been floating through the air till it just landed on your tongue. Yes. This next one is called Origin Story, and it's about my mama, who I love. My origin story begins inside my mama's vagina. An environment of soft pink tissue and acid so hot, it's hotter than the core of the earth, hotter than the tongue-scalding lemon honey tea she made me on a feverish day, hotter than the sun and the stars and the tall woman with the pixie cut that I think I could have fallen in love with yesterday if she didn't pass by me on the street. So basically, hot. And some days when us children were bad, Mommy would shoot that fiery magical concoction through her teeth like a dragon, and we'd giggle and stop complaining about the uneven orange juice distribution in our cups, and I'd dream of the day I could be a superhero like Mommy. It was probably in my arteries, but I didn't know it yet. She could shoot words hotter than pussy juice from her throat, and milk like bullets from her breasts, have a presence that made the king of Cotton Candy Mountain tremble. She'll shrivel your sperm with a look. She won't make you no plate, but she'll hold you until you can't breathe, even when she isn't there, in a way that would make you feel fuzzy, in a way that would make you believe in anything. But all this time, I've cried acid tears that only hurt me when the boys at school called me ugly. Or maybe that's a fairy tale I tell because being too tan and plain to be pretty is all I can think about. But Mommy loved her pizza dough belly with a sad smile because it gave her the four of us, she would say. And she never thought of herself as an artist, even though she is. You'll see her work in museums a million zillion years from now, long after the sun goes out, under a candlelit purple-gray sky, and it'll be like nothing you've ever seen before, a colorful mess of her insides and the rainbows she's been hiding behind her tight eyebrow eyes, with all the colors you didn't know you could see. And me, I'll probably be flying through the sky, cackling, 'cause I just landed some projectile, milky mouth vagina juice right into your eye. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sara. That was amazing. Our next artist is a good friend of mine and an honorary member of Ujima Poets, Hannah Hildebolt. Fair warning, she's a hopeless romantic, but we'll bear with her. She's actually the person who introduced me to spoken word, so give her a warm welcome.
Hi, I'm Hannah. As Lena said, I am an incredibly hopeless romantic, and I mostly write like really gay love poems, and that's what I have for you is two very gay love poems. So the first one is called Close Your Eyes. Sometimes I close my eyes and I try to picture the beginning of the universe. It starts with a soft gray background, a nothingness. Suddenly there's a blazing red point in the middle which expands rapidly outwards, and then my entire field of vision is overtaken by glories of green and purple. Galaxies pop up, swathed in young blue stars, and I watch as they age into yellowness. You can feel math and physics swinging into place, dictating the movements of the heavens. Those silent actors form the structure on which all of these blazing colors hang, and they put an ever-present rhythm to this gorgeous chaos. What a mess of the dark and the divine. I wish I could have bowed to the first star when it died. I wish I could have fallen to my knees for that king among supernovas. When someone I like looks at me with possibility in their eyes, I see the beginning of the universe. I see us, a pinprick of energy barely pushed over from potential into kinetic. It is not long before we become everything that exists. It all comes to me again, the galaxies, the math, the supernovas. But this time, it's us. We are celestial, blazing into royal blue and sweet purple. The stars ache with us. They live and die for us. All of this is ours, the matter and the anti, the darkness, the light, and all of the places in between. In their gaze, for a moment, I can see the first star give up its crown. Some people get butterflies. I get universes. So the second one is also a love poem, and it's called The Sun God. This is me playing the game I always play, the you're Apollo, you, my sun boy, my light love, you of so much gold and God and good that to look at you is to be washed clean of every darkness. To hear your voice is to watch the rays streaming through the windows of my room. To look you in the face is to see light bouncing off of dozens of mirrors, refracting everywhere, like your love for me, refracted everywhere. To be covered with orange and ochre and pale gloried yellow, to be dappled with you. To dance in forests with you slipping through the trees, illuminating their green till it stuns me. To see you peeking between the skyscrapers in the city as though I am playing hide and seek with an enormous thing in the sky. To get tangled up with your heat, to let the sun touch me where I let very few people go, to let the sun go down, as it were. To hunger for endless amounts of light, to never want you to fade away, to ask for daytime to stretch into eternity, to worship you, hanging above me, because if I got any closer, my wax wings would melt, and I would plummet towards the ocean, face turned to you, and not even then would I think about closing my eyes.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Our next poet, her name is Khadeejah. She's a sophomore, exceptional poet, and this is actually going to be her first time performing in front of other people, so give her a very, very warm welcome.
So this is called What's It to You? It's kind of about like spring and cultivating like a growth mindset. Okay. Now, What does happiness mean to you? Is it that feeling you get in the pit of your stomach when you hear the voice of a loved one who makes you smile? Is it the ability to pick up right where you left off with your best friend, whom you haven't seen for a while? Is it faith in the future, making peace with the past, acknowledging that you're on the cusp of reaching your potential, your goals at long last? Lying in the grass, golden rays of sunlight caressing and warming your face, finding a place where you, me, we belong, a space in which we can stretch, bend, plant our roots, and grow together. Maybe not in the same habitat, but sharing this world, our greenhouse, our arboretum. How far we've come, no longer seedlings no longer seedlings nestled in the damp soil of early youth, the potting soil labeled naivete. Okay, so we've germinated, our stems have unfurled, our leaves have spread, learning not to sustain themselves on the artificial light of temporary gratification, their stomata bursting open in order to release the particles of doubt composing the fumes of negativity, our proclivity for hesitancy gone away. Okay, so now we photosynthesize saccharine experiences of our own lives. This chemical reaction fueled by pure intention, not to mention the resolve offered by our trial-strengthened trunks, posture. A few months ago, we were green. Look at us now and tell me, to you, what does happiness mean? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll actually be our last poet going today, and I have 2 poems for you guys. My first poem is called Notes of a Black Modern. I walk tall, drink slow, out of short glasses, and go home alone. I jazz June to sad tunes, kiss the rhythm, and bleed the blues. I spew fire from a 100-proof tongue and count the ashes one by one, and I do it all choreographed to the sweet melodies of Ma Rainey. I curb stomp enemies in the street. In the same streets I lay my demons down to sleep, but you'll just have to take my word for it. Call me an unreliable narrator. It's not my fault. My life only lasts as long as a cigarette burning between my fingertips. I didn't write the story. I just lived it. Lived it between worn pages and what were once white sheets. Black ink becoming the only manifestation of my legacy. And my life written and read at the hands of strangers like you. And even then, you just can't seem to tell which parts are true. Call me the black modern, the modern black. Whatever shoe fits. I lived the story from cover to cover, and you loved every last bit. My last poem is called Black Ink, and I want to do a little trigger warning for police brutality. If this is a topic that makes you uncomfortable, please feel free to step out. My blue thoughts bleed black ink onto white paper. Blue and red lines police my flavor, only allowing my anger to be vocalized between the confines of your blue and red lines. And even then, it's still too spicy. Boo-hoo blue you, your tears seep through sheets of white, leaving your black ink to bleed all through the night, as you dream of white nights touching red lights to your symbols of Christ, and blue lights flashing, waiting to read you your rights so they can steal your life, guilt-free. CNN will put it on display for everyone to see, and even on television, those blue lights don't do your black skin justice, do they? I heard patriots bleed blue and blood is thicker than water, but what does any of that matter when I bear the black skin of my father? I'm hard-headed because I'm my mother's daughter, so I'll keep my black hand glued to this white paper till it's complete, till there's not an inch left of white to see, till my black hands paint white sheets red while I bleed. Maybe then the black ink that stains my palms will finally set me free. Thank you guys so much for coming out. It was an honor to perform for you all.